Hi everyone, I'm Joanna Lee.
I'm Dan Curley.
And I'm Amber Rae.
Welcome to the 401.
401.
Hold on just a second, guys. We've got some technical issues going on.
Uh-oh.
My computer is just not liking me tonight.
Mine seldom ever likes me.
Engage and reverse the engines.
Okay, did that fix it? Are we good? You guys hear me?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Okay, but you're not hearing me twice.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. My computer hates me. All right, so it's been a little while. We have a guest host with us tonight. Some of you may recognize Amber, and all of you know Dan. And here I am.
Yeah.
It's been an eventful couple of weeks. Hope everybody's doing well. How have you been, Dan?
Good. Hanging out, working, doing things, learning more about Titanic and her sisters and all that.
How about
Fun
you, Amber?
stuff.
How are you?
Doing good. I have pink background, which I've never had on a live video before because I have a pink craft room now.
Lovely. I have this lovely background here. This is actually artwork of Merrick Soleil, but I just did it in honor of the 37th anniversary of the discovery of the wreck, which brings us to our hot topics. Everyone knows that September 1st was the anniversary of the wreck's discovery by a joint American and French expedition led by Robert Ballard and Jean-Louis Michel. I think that was in the news a little bit this week, wasn't it? Or was it? I don't watch the news.
Me neither. I try to avoid it.
I don't have time, and I just try not to watch it. I know it was in the news on Facebook. It was all over my news feed. It's definitely something that's noteworthy. I remember exactly, I was 6 years old. I remember watching the ABC World News with Peter Jennings. And I remember hearing him talk to Dr. Ballard about the wreck being discovered. I remember my little 6-year-old heart being broken, hearing that the wreck was actually discovered in 2 pieces. Because even at that young age, I was like, wow, that means it probably won't be able to be brought back up to the surface. So I'm old because I remember that so clearly. But yeah, definitely that was the dawn of a new era of expeditions and artifacts being recovered and all new Titanic controversies and all of that good stuff. So
that's what got me to Titanic too, was when she was found. And was also 6 years old. And I was there with my family and it was on the news and I was completely captivated and just immediately enthralled with her.
I was a -3 years old.
And Dan is here to make us remember. But yeah,
even
yeah, just, go ahead.
Oh no, it's just that even that I got in later with it, Dr. Ballard was all over, especially with the Scholastic books that we've talked about. He was always linked, even though I didn't see it live and all that. He was always linked with it in future, because a lot of books came out because of it. A lot of great documentaries came out of it, and So yeah, even finding out, even years after the fact, when I was getting into it, you knew Dr. Robert Ballard from that, and Michelle, Dr. Michelle as well. So it was, yeah, definitely a big event that, and even like you said, you see stories pop up every now and then, TV documentaries about it. It's just a story that keeps on growing every year and capturing people.
Yes. Yeah, I remember getting Dr. Ballard's Discovering the Titanic, it's a little paperback from Scholastic when I was very young. I can't remember if that was my first Titanic book or if my first was A Night to Remember, but I remember getting them both from Scholastic when I was little. So it was definitely a big thing back then. I see some comments coming in on the live feed, and again, I'm sorry for the delay and all of that. My computer just kind of backfired on me there as I was going live. I lost like everything. But I didn't lose a live feed for some reason. I guess because it was still on my phone. But anyway, so hi Mike. Hi, I'm horrible with names. Is it Isale? Michael Standard says, is this something we can watch or join in on? Last night, not last night, last time we went live, excuse me, we sent the link out towards the end of the live show, and we did let group members join in. So Michael, if you just hang in tight with us, we've got a little short format to go through, and then we'll let members join in towards the end, and we can just have some open discussion. Mike White says, there we go, we can see everybody now. Michael Standard says, I read A Night to Remember back in the 2nd grade. I remember reading it really at a very young age. Mm-hmm. And there were some of it I didn't really understand because I was so young. But, it's such a moving book.
I actually got a secondhand copy of that. My dad gave it to me when I got interested more and more, and I was buying all the Scholastics. He had an old paperback that he gave me, and I don't even take it. I put it in plastic because it's so old and worn out, but it's so sentimental that I'm like, I won't even let people look at it.
Yeah, I still have my original paperback that I got from Scholastic. It's great. I have the big illustrated version now too. That's a really lovely edition of that. A Night to Remember. So moving right along, because we do want to have time to have members join us. Let's talk about current events. I have some photos to show. So I'm going to share my screen really quickly. I really wish, Dan and Amber, that you guys could have joined us at Titanicon. I'm going to start off with, what is all this? What do you guys see?
The THS thing.
Is that all you see? Is that all y'all see?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, because it brought up a bunch of other stuff on my screen. I don't know what's going on with my computer. Anyway, before I get into Titanicon, we had been talking about the Titanic Historical Society event. It looks like they have canceled it. They posted this on their Facebook page. I don't know when this is dated, but it wasn't that long ago. They were going to have an event sometime later on this month at the Titanic Museum in Branson, but they've canceled it. So I don't know if any of you who are watching were planning on going to that, but it's really a shame that they have they've canceled that event. The Titanic Historical Society event has been canceled. It says that next year is the 60th anniversary of the founding of the Titanic Historical Society, and the officers and board members are investing ways to have a more affordable gathering. I certainly hope so, because this year's event was $600 a person. Anywho, moving right along, I did go to Titanicon 22, which was held in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. My friend Michael Standard, who's commenting on the live feed, was there. We had the most amazing time. If you ever want to feel like part of just the Titanic family, go to Titanicon. Bill Willard, you see him pictured in this photograph on the far right-hand side. He has a blue kind of dress shirt on. He organizes this whole thing. It is just amazing. The way it's set up, everybody just feels like part of a big family. We have the best time. It's very affordable. I think tickets this year were $140 a person. He worked so hard to try to find a hotel that will give discounted rates to the event goers or conference members or whatever. He tries to find places that have like free breakfasts and stuff like that at the hotels. And, it wasn't a 5-star hotel that we stayed in, but it was very nice. We enjoyed it. We all try to meet for breakfasts and lunches and dinners. We just have the best times, and we had the most amazing speakers that you can imagine. If you look closely in this picture, you'll see Bill Wormstead. You'll see George Behe, Shelley Bender. Let's see who else is in here. There's just lots of people. But when I look at this, I see my friends, and that's what's so important. I'm not in this picture because
why?
Because I was getting ready for my wedding. We surprised everybody at this Titanic conference by getting married on Saturday during the conference, and it was so much fun. I am in this photograph though, and so is everybody else. The night of the gala dinner, which is usually held on Friday night during the conference, we announced to everyone that we were getting married on Saturday morning, and we invited everybody at the conference to our wedding. It was so fun. We had to be at the my fiance at the time, but now my husband, we had to be at the Titanic Museum at 6:00 in the morning. So I had to get my hair and makeup done, and they wanted us to be ready to walk down the aisle at 8. The ceremony to take place before they open to the public. So these wonderful people got there and watched us get married. It was wonderful to share this event with our Titanic family. It was just amazing. We cried through the whole ceremony, but it was just a wonderful experience. And I'm telling you what, the Titanic Museum treats people like absolute first class, from the gala dinner through the wedding, through just making sure we had a wonderful experience. Just even touring the museum, they're just wonderful people.
That's the perfect place for you to get married too.
Yes. Just throwing this out here, I married a history teacher, so it's not like he was just bored through the whole event, y'all. And this was, partially his idea. He's a huge history buff, and so for us to get married in this setting was just kind of like, it was just meant to be. But anyway, back to Titanicon. I don't want to bore y'all with just my my wedding stuff. So this is like the last day of the Titanicon. These are some friends we met up with for lunch. We had a wonderful time. Like I said, if you go to something like this, you make friends, hopefully for a lifetime. They feel like lifetime friends to me, but we had just a blast. This is Stephen Schwenkert. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of The Six. Bill Willard had Stephen there presenting this film. And if you ever have an opportunity, any of you all out there watching, if you ever have an opportunity to see The Six, I would highly recommend it. It's absolutely amazing. If you ever have a chance to speak with Stephen Schwenkert, do it. It's just the most phenomenal film. It will just absolutely, hold on, y'all. I think we may have lost the live feed. Bear with me.
It still says live for me.
Does it? Okay. Because I just lost it on my phone. But if you ever have a chance to watch The Six and learn the stories of these Chinese passengers, I would highly recommend it. It's just a fascinating story to hear what these men went through, during their voyage on the Titanic, and then their life afterwards. Fascinating. This is Paul Burns. Paul is the curator of the Titanic Museum there in Pigeon Forge. He's a stellar guy. That's my husband right there. He's a history and government teacher. Paul actually helped him out by appearing via Zoom for his classroom last year and did an excellent presentation for my husband's high school class. Paul did a presentation at Titanicon. Here's some of the things that he brought there. There's me with Madeline Astor's life belt. Y'all, Paul brought Madeline Astor's life belt to Titanicon. All the nerds in the room said, "Oh!" And I know I had tears in my eyes, because you see things like this in a museum sometimes. And Michael Standard will probably agree with this. But you see things like this in a museum, it's behind glass, it's got special lighting on it, and you're just like, oh wow, that's so cool, you know. But then to see it like up close and personal, and you're like, I'm breathing the same air that's touching the Madeline Astor life belt, and it's just wow.
John Jacob Astor might have handled that at some point.
She did. I mean, she had it on, you know.
No. John Jacob Astor, her husband.
John Jacob Astor probably put it on her, you know. I mean, to think of just all the things that this went through. Michael Lee said Madeline Astor was my great aunt's best friend. She was traveling with them. Whoa. Michael Lee, you are related to Margaret Brown, correct? If I'm thinking correctly, right? I think I'm right.
Hey, Joe, in that last picture before this, was that Father Brown's camera?
I think it's similar to it.
Oh, I was going to say I would have fainted on the floor.
And then there's a pin cushion from something. There were so many things going on. That was the day that I got married, and I had 2 hours of sleep because I was so afraid I wasn't going to wake up in time to make it to the museum. I was like literally sitting there like this. Michael Lee is related to Margaret Brown, and he's watching this live. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Michael.
You know, Madeline Astor was afraid to wear the life belt, right? And that John Jacob Astor had to cut one open to show her what was there and explain it to her so she would know that she'd be okay.
That's what they say. And so seeing the Madeline Astor life belt was just so like moving, because you just know the drama and, you know, the things that went down that night, and, you know, him having to tell her goodbye and put her in a lifeboat, and she was expecting, and, you know, it just really, you know, it was just really something to see. So whoops, I'm going the wrong way, or I'm on there twice. Anyway, so there it is again. And there's Paul putting it on the special stand. There they are, like putting it on the stand and preparing. There he is talking. Okay, I'm kind of going backwards. This is us at the gala dinner. This is the gala dinner all set up. It was absolutely beautiful. Like I said, just first class all the way. This is our friend Lisa Plotnick. We got to know her well, Dan and Amber and I. And it was just so, like I said, when you go to Titanicon, you meet people that you've known for years, that you're already friends with. Lisa's one of those people. This is the first time I met her in person, but I've already known her for years. So it was just such a pleasure, you know, meeting so many. I met new people this year. I saw old people that I've already known. It was just amazing. This is Frank Goldsmith. Frank's father, well, this is, I guess, Frank Goldsmith Jr. Frank's father was a Titanic survivor. He survived the Titanic as a small child. So Frank, this is the second time I've heard his story. He is just the most singly interesting human being. I love hearing his story about his family. Here he is giving his presentation. This is actually after his presentation. You see Bill Willard right there. He presented him with a sketch of what his father would have looked like as like either a young teenager or a little bit older of a child than he was after he survived the Titanic. This is actually an original Merrick Soleil sketch of Frank Goldsmith. And there was not a dry eye in the room. So that was just a really high point during the conference. This is our friend Kathy Lamette. I think everybody is familiar with Kathy. She gave a presentation about her involvement with the 2021 Ocean Gate expedition, which was just fabulous. I've known Kathy for years. I got to meet her in person last year at Titanicon. She's just a wonderful person. I just love her to death. So hearing her presentation, seeing all the wonderful images that she had, it was just great. There's Bill Willard. This is at Titanicon. Just if you know Bill, either in person or just through the Titanic community online, he's just a wonderful person.
Oh, I love him.
This is Bill Sauter, another one of my favorite people on this planet. He was at Titanicon again this year, and I missed his presentation. Well, I saw like 5 minutes of it. I missed the majority of it though, because I had to go to the Titanic Museum to discuss arrangements for the wedding, which I couldn't let anybody know because it was a surprise. But he gave a very interesting presentation about artifacts from the Titanic. But there he is beginning his presentation, and I had to leave shortly after. He's just fantastic. But that's all I had from, I just was trying to give a brief overview of Titanicon 22. Alec McLaughlin's on here. He says, afternoon. Alex is joining us from New Zealand. Afternoon, Joanna, a little late, but congratulations on your marriage. Yay. My friend Abby's on here. It's lovely to see all of you. Let's see. Michael Lee's watching. He said Helen Benzinger, Margaret's great-granddaughter, loves Pigeon Forge. I'm telling you what, I am so impressed with the Pigeon Forge Museum. They are just top-notch. Everything they did during Titanicon, everything they did for our wedding, everything they did for the gala dinner was just superb. I don't know how to get out of my, oh, there we go, stop share. Okay, so that's what I had for that. Do you guys have anything else for current events? Michael's leaving us. He has to go to, hold on, he's got to go to bed. Oh yeah, he says he took over 500 pictures at the conference, and they are available with public access on his page. He's not kidding. He took a lot of photos at the conference. But we love Michael. Good night, Michael.
Hi, Michael.
Good night.
Thank you, Alex. Hi, Terry. Terry Bays joined us.
Hey, Terry.
We love Terry. Okay, so we're going to move on to collectibles if you guys don't have anything else for current events.
No, just I want to go. I said I was going to go.
I want you guys to go.
I know. I keep saying
stay up all night. All right, so collectibles. We have these broken down into two sections. We're going to do books after we do like other collectibles. So if you're a Titanic enthusiast, as we are, then you most likely have, my husband's watching. Hi, babe. So if you're a Titanic enthusiast, you most likely have some Titanic stuff.
I've actually never heard of Titanic before. I don't know why I'm here.
One of the first things we did when we got to Pigeon Forge was we went straight to the museum, and then I wanted to hit the gift shop. And my husband was like, please leave some stuff for the other people when they get here.
That's why I'm like, it's dangerous. The first time I walk in there, I'm going to just start grabbing everything.
Everything has the word Titanic on it. It's really hard to just not like get it all. So I have some stuff and I have some books. So we'll start with the stuff first. Dan, what do you have? What kind of stuff do you have?
Well, I don't know. I always like to pick like little things here and there. I don't want to like, I always get tempted though to grab everything I own and be like, look at all this. But then, I was looking at mine. I actually wanted first to show off. These are two that I had commission made a little while ago by a friend of mine, Russ Lovelace, who you've probably seen his work around, where he carves out of pencil.
Oh, I love those
little scenes. And I actually have two of them, and I'm glad I did. Well, I actually went backwards. This is the sinking, and look at this detail that he puts into this. There's, the iceberg, and this is all out of a pencil as well. And you see, look at the water. Look at all that.
That is so cool. I remember when you got those.
Yeah.
We're always like behind the scenes, like messaging each other, like, look what I found. and we're like, get it or don't get it, or that's tacky or not tacky, or
Look at that one.
That is so cool.
And yeah, he put the coast of Ireland.
Tiny.
He put the coast of Ireland in there as it's pulling away, and he's got the sky, this oceanscape there.
Michael, you need a Titanic room too. Michael Lee said one of his friends has a Titanic room. Michael, I have like a Titanic room and another room.
Titanic like hangar, like building. But yeah, this is by Russ Lovelace. He does a ton of model work, and
those are so cool.
Really fantastic stuff.
That's so tiny. Oh my goodness. What else you got?
And then oh, look what I found from the other episode.
Oh, I gave you that a long time ago.
I found it. I was like, where the hell did it, excuse me. Where the heck did it go? And then my last couple items for this episode, and it's one of my books is gonna look into this as well, is whenever I go into the thrift shop, I'm like, I always used to go just right for the books. And I was like, books, that's Titanic or the movies, because they're usually right next to each other. But then I started, one day I was by the knickknacks, like little knickknacks. And I was like, oh, maybe they'll have like a Rose doll or something there, or like one of those Thomas Andrews Barbie dolls or something.
Oh, I have some.
Yeah. But then I found out they had like little bears, or they had one bear there. And I was like, that bear's doing Navy stuff. So what I did was, this was the first one.
That's so cute.
You see him there, but he had like a blue sailor costume on. And I was like, you know what? Just with a little black model paint. And he kind of looks like one of the Titanic sailors.
I remember when you did that.
Yeah.
So cute. I like that too.
And then, so I was like, oh, I like this little guy, you know? And like Amber said, I was all like, look at these bears, guys. But then
Alex said that's adorable. Alex McLaughlin said that's adorable.
And then, well, actually it lucked out, because now I could actually name one after a real crew member. This is my latest one, my Robert Hitchens.
Oh, I love it. That's cute.
Yeah, so all I did was paint it black, and I had to fill in some white on the shirt, but yeah, I put those together. And this is just a little side thing there. I found this on a trip, because I'm like obsessive with finding anything Titanic related. And I found this little car inside of a cube. And I was like, that kind of looks like the car, the Renault. Yeah, the Renault.
Yep.
I think from the ship there. But yeah, it's inside of like I don't know what this.
Oh, cool. It's like in resin or something.
Yeah, and it's not like an exact, like the bears, you know, they aren't exact, but it's like, you know, even with a little, I didn't make this I just unaltered. It's not exactly the car, but
that's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Amber?
I said it's close enough.
Oh yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, especially with the little bear, my Hitchens bear, it's like, you know, you could even make your own stuff. So that's the cool thing about thrift shops. And I'm big on pushing those, because even if you do something like Amber loves doing arts and crafts. So it's like you could find stuff that you could make your own stuff, and it makes it a little more special. You know, it's like, oh, hey, you know, I did that, and then it's one of a kind. Ooh, no.
All right, I'll show one thing, and then we'll let Amber go, and then I'll show some more stuff, because I went a little nuts. This is my favorite thing, though.
Oh my God.
That is so beautiful.
Can I have it?
I finally got an Allen St. George clock.
Oh.
It's the teeny tiny one, but it's mine.
I want to buy it all.
I finally got an Allen St. George clock after all these years.
Oh God.
I know it's the teeny tiniest one you think you can possibly get, but I don't care. I've always wanted one. I have a huge one that's a replica clock but it's nothing compared to the Allen St. George clocks. I'm just so proud to have it. You have no idea, but yeah. So that's one of my favorite things from Titanicon. The Pigeon Forge museum, they sell some Allen St. George things, and this is what I got. My hubby got it for me for, I guess, wedding present. So
Joe, you have my address.
thank you, hubby. What?
You can send that clock there and give Jamie my thanks for buying.
Nice try.
Store it for you.
Terry Bay says, "Don't we all want to buy it all, Dan?"
That's the bad thing. I'm gonna walk in there and I'm gonna be like, "Oh, all my money for food and drink is gone."
I know. I was like, "Do I want food or do I want a Titanic clock?" So
Titanic
that one's gonna go on our mantle in the family room.
You should put your wedding picture there next to it.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're going. Y'all are gonna really hate me after I show the next thing. Go ahead, Amber. Show us what you got.
So, I got an awesome package in the mail today.
Oh, look at that.
Look at it, isn't this so cute? Okay, that's part of it. And then I got this bracelet. It says Titanic and it has a bunch of anchors all around it. And then I have been wanting Bill Willard to sign my copy of his Our Story book for right? So I was talking to him about mailing him my copy, and he said, well, I was just hoping you'd come to one of the conventions. Well, I messaged Joanna and I asked her if she could pick me up a copy, and he signed it for me. So I have a signed copy now.
It's a wonderful book.
It is.
So cool book. Such a cool book.
Twice already. And then I wanted to show, and then this hoodie I got from my adult daughter for Christmas.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then I got this for my birthday this year from my best friend and boss.
Ooh.
Oh, that's cool.
I want to keep
it.
We got an anchor. What's that charm on the left?
There's the white line. It's like a White Star Line coin, kind of.
That's cool.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
And then this is my favorite Christmas present that I got from my husband.
Oh,
I like that. I've been looking at some of those on Marketplace, and I'm like, do I want one? I like it. I really like that.
So, and then it says Harlan and Wolf on it, and
that is
very cool.
I'll take that too. You can send me that too.
Very cool. All right, I've got something else.
Oh, that is beautiful.
This is a tile. Okay, it didn't come with any certificates or provenance or anything like that. But two experts at the convention said that they're like 90-some% sure that it's an Olympic tile. At the very least, it's a Harlan and Wolff tile from the early 1900s. With it came this little photograph of Titanic tiles in the debris field, and this little picture of Olympic tiles, tiles in the Olympic. So it could be an Olympic tile. Some Titanic historians said they're like 99.9% sure that it is. Who I bought it from at the conference said that they were told it was an Olympic tile, but again, without paperwork and provenance, you just don't know for sure. So that's another cool buy.
I'm just saying, that is an incredible buy.
I was really excited about that. I have a tile. I showed my mom, she's like, what is that? I was like, it's a floor tile. And she was like, She thought I had lost my mind.
All of Titanic to appreciate the treasures like those.
That was like when I was painting the bears. My mom was like, what? What are you doing?
Okay. Do you guys have anything else?
Not for this episode. I have other things though.
I have a couple of other things. These are a little bit more bizarre.
Bizarre good.
Yeah. So, okay. I showed the two really good things first. Now we slip into the bizarre. Okay, hold on. Okay. This is a Titanic ashtray.
That is cool.
I remember just laughs. It's like a 25 or 30-year-old Titanic ashtray from Mexico. I bought this at the conference.
I love that blue.
Yep. There you go.
Awesome.
Y'all can tell me I'm tacky. I know it. I like to buy unique things along with
jar.
Like the cookie jar that I have. Yes.
Yep.
Y'all know it. I'm going to show that one night. All right. Terry Bay says, nice Olympic or White Star Line tile. Thank you. Terry says, I also have a block of deckwood from the Olympic. Terry, I also have a piece of like, what is it called? Trim from the Olympic. And it does have paperwork that comes with it. So yes. And I have a piece of Britannic wood that has paperwork. But the tile, I don't know. But either way, it's something. All right, so this is very tacky, but I love it. Okay, this is from 1997.
I used to have that.
Why don't you have it anymore? It's incredibly hard to get.
Well, no, because I used it like I was like.
Oh, this is still in the box, brand new, Dan.
It has a little iceberg with it, right? You blow up the iceberg and the.
This doesn't say it comes with. It says it's motorized and inflatable. Shoot! It does have an inflatable iceberg. It includes real working motor and an inflatable iceberg.
I bought one of those, but I opened it like a fool, and I didn't. Because back then I was like, oh, let me play with the boats, and that was.
This was incredibly hard to get. It's still sealed in the package. I had to fight people on eBay for it.
Great. Now you tell me. Where were you? 20.
Is Jamie still watching? I hope he's not. I paid way too much.
But it's worth it. See, like I wish I would.
This is an inflatable Titanic with real working motor and inflatable iceberg, y'all, from 1997.
Awesome.
Man.
That was we became adults.
What?
That was when I became adults. We turned 18.
I know, right? That's the year of graduating from high school. I wasn't really thinking about inflatable Titanics at the time, but now that I'm 43 years old,
I think
that's
I was
what I wanted.
I think I was.
Anywho, I hope y'all aren't bored. Oh crap, he is watching. Never mind, honey. I love you. I got that a while ago. Don't worry about it. And I got these postcards at the Titanic Museum. I mean, not the Titanic Museum, at Titanicon.
Oh, cool.
Do you remember when we did an article one time about this necklace?
That necklace was the
inspiration for the yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and it belonged to
this is what happens when you turn 40.
Beverly.
Yes.
Her grand.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I had never seen anything related to it before until I saw it.
That is cool.
At Titanicon, and I was like, mine. I got it for 50 cents.
Very rare diamond.
Mm-hmm. Because I'd never seen one of these before. It has no markings or anything on the back of it, or anything. Amber, see, we don't even have to talk words. She knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, thanks, Aaron. Aaron says he's glad we're doing new content. I'm glad we are too.
No, I love this.
We'll talk about that towards the end. All right, so moving on to books. I have
Book.
lots of things to say about books today. What do you got, Dan?
Let's see. I got I like I said, I want to show every book that I've ever bought, but I like to pick like a little sampling each week. So I thought this one would be interesting to talk about. There's actually a copy of this on the Titanic as we speak. I found this in the same thrift shop,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, translated by Edward Fitzgerald. And this is like I said, just going down the shelves looking for everything. This one was published in.
Don't you guys ever wonder what happened to that, the Rubaiyat? I mean, it's down there somewhere.
I read an article about that before the episode. You know, depending on
Where's
what
Kipper?
it was.
I don't know where Kipper is. What, do you want us to get Kipper on here? Kipper, are you watching?
I don't see the year on this one. Oh, wait, there we go. Oh, no, never mind. But yeah, this was just a cool little book that I found in my magical thrift shop. You know, and I thought it would be interesting to have.
It's not, it's Kipper, not Kipper.
That is awesome, Dan.
And also, it's kind of strange. You know how they say, like, Wreck of the Titan and how it foreshadowed Titanic and all that. For you American viewers, isn't it? It's kind of interesting. I always thought that the guy who translated this book that ended up be famously a copy of it sinking on the Titanic was named Ed Fitzgerald, like the Edmund Fitzgerald ship.
Wow.
That's interesting. I've never made that connection before.
Yeah, those are always of interest, like with Wreck of the Titan and all that stuff. And are we going back and forth, or are we just like person to
That's
person?
a fun trivia question sometime.
Well, yeah, I thought it was neat. It's far less ornate than the one on Titanic, but and then let's see which
I
one.
wonder how many of those jeweled ones they made.
They
Or
got
if that
it.
was the only one.
Yeah, I would have to think it was because I mean it was filled with it had to be extremely expensive leather bound or. So I'm going to go with this one next. So, you know, we talked about how you guys were talking about like with the Robert Ballard book when you first, you know, started going. When I was in my little library as a child, a book that always caught my eye was the Indiana Jones Titanic book, the young Indiana Jones. Everybody's laughing and smiling, but on the last episode, we talked about ordering stuff online and everything. So I was like, you know what? I want a copy of that Indiana Jones book. Because when I was a kid, I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. It's Titanic. Wow. Like my eyes lit up. So I ordered it. And weirdly enough, it came as a hardcover.
That is weird. I've never seen the hardcover.
Which
you and I talked about it years ago, and I got a copy of that, believe it or not. So I have it, but it's a paperback edition.
Yeah, but what I actually like, I was talking to some friend, the libraries would actually do this to extend paperback books live. So they would take the original cover.
Mm-hmm.
Can't really see it too well here. That's the original cover there. Mm-hmm. So they detach it from the book.
Oh yeah.
And then put the inside of a hardcover book. So, and I didn't even order it, but it was called like a library edition or something. So if you see library edition, they might like turn it into a hardcover book. But look at that. Look at that.
There's okay. People are amazed that there is an Indiana Jones Titanic book. There's also an Indiana Jones Nancy Drew book.
Mm-hmm.
And what else did we come across?
Nancy Drew, Indiana Jones.
There's like the one where you choose your own ending. There's like
Sherlock Holmes. There's
Sherlock Holmes. I think there's two Titanic Sherlock Holmes books, if not more. Mm-hmm. there's tons of just
Oh, yeah.
bizarre Titanic children's books.
Jack the Ripper. There was Jack the Ripper.
Yes.
Vampires.
I have a whole bookcase full of just oddball Titanic
Yeah.
fiction books downstairs. I have the good books upstairs,
Yeah.
downstairs.
Mine all live together.
Dan doesn't discriminate. I can't.
No, like when I was a kid, though, this cover, I was like, oh my God, look at that. Because I would see like the Cameron movie, and then I'd go to the library and there's Indiana Jones. I was like, this is incredible.
Keep all the weird ones downstairs. No, there's like a Titanic cat book. There's
Casper and Titanic Cat, which I consider part of the Violet Jessup collection of books, which will be a future episode.
Oh Lord. No.
No.
No, there's all kinds of really interesting ones. I mean,
Does it have Violet Jessup in it, or why is Casper in the Violet Jessup collection?
Casper is another Titanic Cat book. Titanic Cat is based on Jenny, the Titanic cat that was mentioned in Titanic Survivor, the book.
Yep, I have that book.
Oh yeah, which one? Titanic Survivor?
Titanic Cat, both of them.
I think I have both of the Titanic Cat books too.
Yeah, I have Titanic Cat and Casper the Titanic Cat.
Y'all get me to admit to things I don't want to admit to.
And
anyway, what else you got, Dan?
Oh, so then I brought one more because, like I said, if I didn't limit myself, I'd have like 94. So this is actually not about the Titanic. It's about another shipwreck that links a lot of. It's an interesting book because it really makes you think about how people on Titanic, because everybody talks about like, did the Titanic officers do their jobs right? Did the owners of did Bruce Ismay do this right? And so this book is called The Sea Shall Embrace Them, about the steamship Arctic that struck another ship and sunk. But the complete opposite, like we all know the story, and that, wow, I just quoted Titanic 97. You all know the story about women and children first with Lightoller and all this. Well, in this book or this story, it was chaos. It was pandemonium. It was
for women and children only.
No, it was basically rush the deck of the ship and steal the lifeboats, and not a single woman or child survived the sinking of the Arctic.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, and the captain survived, but the captain didn't. He went down with the ship, but it is one of the most dramatic books I've ever read about a sea ship, because it makes you think, like, and I got emotional reading it, thinking about the Titanic officers, because so often, like I said, you have people saying like, oh, Lightoller was kind of gruff. He was kind of rough with people. He let people die. He didn't let men on the board. Or Murdoch, and everybody talking about him, or Moody, or all these guys. And just to see like what they did compared to people on this. And the captain, it was horrible. The captain of this book lost his son in the sinking because he brought his young son with him. And it was, like I said, he went down with the ship, but he actually survived by being in the bridge. They didn't call it the bridge, but it was like where all the controls were. But it's a fantastic book. It's a fantastic read. You know, the captain's story is just heartbreaking because he really tried his best, the captain of this, to be honorable, and you know, he was kind of made out to be the scapegoat for a little bit. And interestingly, the Titanic world, this painting of the Arctic was actually owned by Walter Lord, who wrote A Night to Remember, and he put a good review on top of there. And then
interesting.
Charles Pellegrino of many Titanic book fames made a nice review on the back.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's really, I found this in another resale shop, and it's
Mhm.
such a crazy tale. And Titanic's mentioned some, but like, just I don't want to give a lot away because it's just so, the poor captain, he survived, but he went through so much
Wow.
in the book. It's an incredible book. I can't recommend it enough.
So there's an interesting conversation going on in the live feed.
Mhm.
Terry Bay said there wouldn't be a book about a horse on the Titanic, would there? Um,
I don't think so. I haven't
I don't
seen it
know.
yet.
Aaron says the Birkenhead drill. What is that? What is that? And then Michael Lee said pilot house. What is that?
Pilot house. There we go. That's how they would control the ship. That's how the captain and like one or two other passengers survived. They were basically floating in the detached pilot house
Oh,
of the ship. Yeah, I mean, that's a big part to give away, but it's a crazy story. It's an incredible story.
um, so I got a couple of books while I was at the conference.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll share my screen again because I had the pleasure of meeting a few authors while I was gone.
Uh-oh.
Can you guys see what?
Yep.
What just happened? All right, hold on. Let me try that again. All right, that's not exactly what I wanted to share. Hold on. Oh, I hate my computer.
There's Bill.
All right. Hold on. I had this all set up before we started, and then my computer just decided to hate me. There we go. So this is George B. If you guys are not familiar with him, he is one of the most well-respected Titanic authors out there.
Oh,
He's
I love him.
absolutely amazing.
Fantastic guy too.
Yes. I just recently got his new book, the Titanic Disaster, a Medical Dossier. This arrived a day or two after I got home from being out of town. But I got to talk with George just a little bit, not as much as I wanted to because things were so hectic with things going on at the conference, and then me having to leave several times to go talk to the museum about the wedding, and then the wedding and all that. But this real thing was that he was at my wedding. But while I was gone, I got him to sign my book, Titanic Safety, Speed, and Sacrifice, which is still incredibly hard to find. But I'm very pleased that he was able to sign that. And then one of his other well-known books, On Board the RMS Titanic, I got him to sign that. Yay! So I don't know if you can see it or not. But just meeting him was a pleasure. He is an absolute treasure, just a wonderful person. I just cannot say enough about George Behe. He's just amazing. If you ever have the chance to meet George Behe or talk to him, do it. Get his books. He's just fantastic.
I love the books he's been publishing on that Lulu.
On Lulu.
Yeah,
If you go to lulu.com, there are a lot of George Behe books on there. They're very reasonably priced. I would just highly recommend anything on there. Jeffrey Walker says Joanna owns every book written about Titanic. She's a boss lady. Whatever. I do have a lot of Titanic books. I'll be the first to admit I've not read all of them or even a fraction of them. Right now, I'm really enjoying collecting Titanic books, odd ones, old ones, hard to get ones. I have 4 kids and a job. I don't get to read as much as I want to. And when I do try to read, I usually wake up by the book smacking me in the face. I have a lot of books on Titanic books, especially on Kindle. I have better luck reading them that way on my phone. I do wake up with the phone smacking me in the face sometimes. But someday I will have more time and I'll have plenty of books to choose from. I also had the pleasure of meeting, oops, that's not what I wanted to do either. Meeting Bill Wormstead, also a lovely person. He took lots of pictures of my wedding and sent them to me, which he didn't have to do, and that was so sweet of him. But I got him to sign my copy of On a Sea of Glass. This is the second edition, and he was gracious enough to sign it for me. Meeting him was just a pleasure, and I was just very, I don't know if you can see that, I was just very grateful that he signed my book for me. That was just awesome. I bought this little book while I was at the conference. It's copyright 1972.
Oh, cool.
I don't know a whole lot about it. It's called A Titanic Hero, Thomas Andrews Shipbuilder by Sean F. Bullock. I really like Thomas Andrews, so I try to buy up any book that I can find on him. So I just figured, what the heck.
We just see the screen with the pictures. You still have the screen on.
Do I still have the screen up? Stop share. Okay. So I got this little book.
That is cool.
A Titanic Hero, Thomas Andrews Shipbuilder. I just thought that was really neat.
F. Bullock.
Is
that
I don't know anything about it. If anybody knows anything about this book, let me know.
Is that published in Ireland by any chance?
No, I don't think so. It says forward by Edward Kamuta, Vice President of Titanic and Business of America.
Oh, that's cool.
So I think that was even back before he was part of the Titanic Historical Society. So
yeah, because in a lot of the THS they have in the newsletter or in the commutator, it used to be they sold like a lot of books based on like more independent books like that. They have like a really cool selection. So that probably was an early example.
Aaron, were you asking about my copy of On a Sea of Glass, if that was paperback? No, that was the hardback. It's the second edition. This one right here. This is second edition hardback. It made me nervous to take it on the road with me because I was so afraid it would get messed up. And Michael Lee said that he knew Ed. Yes, I heard that Ed Kamuta was just a super nice guy. So I just thought that was a neat little book. I don't know a lot about it, but I thought it was cool to pick it up. Yes, Aaron, I got very lucky. I found that on eBay and it was actually reasonably priced. All right, so I got this little booklet. I got it for $1. I got really lucky with this one. There were some people there and they were selling an awful lot of their collection. A lot of things I bought from them and they're absolutely lovely. They gave a wonderful presentation. They were divers. They've been all over the world looking at different wrecks. They were involved in RMSTI, I think, at one time, and did some things with Titanic. And they were just getting rid of their collection. Okay, so from what I understand, this little booklet was given to people who were involved with the expedition that brought up the big piece. You only got this if you were on the expedition that brought up the big piece.
Cool.
It's just a different collection of just things about the Titanic. I mean, so nothing really significant, but the fact is that the only people in the world that have it are people that were on that expedition, and it was given to them by George Tulloch. This letter from George Tulloch.
Oh, cool.
And these exclusive photos from George Tulloch.
Ooh.
So does Bill Willard have one of those then?
Probably.
Mm-hmm. Including like this nice little wreck photo.
That is cool. Just for $1 too? That's crazy.
That is
awesome.
awesome.
It was like, I'm sorry, it was like $2. It was like $1 for the book and $1 for the letter signed by George Tulloch and the photos.
Worth.
I would have paid like 30 times more than that. And
I think it's an electronic signature, but still, just the fact that it's an exclusive thing that just people have that were on that expedition, I just think it's very cool.
I never one of my other big hobbies is presidential stuff, and like a ton of their stuff is electronically secretarial signed. So and it
says right here on the inside cover, this edition was painstakingly reproduced by Hanford Press, from the rare original 1912 Lloyd's Weekly News publication of the deathless story of the Titanic, and is exclusively limited to official members of the 1996 Titanic expedition cruise.
Wow, that is crazy.
Yep.
That's a treasure.
Yeah. And then this letter talks all about, enclosed, please find the reproduction of photographs taken by Father Francis Brown and first class passenger on board Titanic on her maiden voyage. As promised, you're also receiving the special photograph of the bow of Titanic taken while it was illuminated by Edison light towers during our 1996 Titanic expedition.
Wow.
Thank you for your interest in Titanic and for ordering these special Father Brown photograph reproductions. Sincerely, George Tulloch.
Cool.
It's crazy with that expedition when you think about it. It's like 1996. It's like the next year, then that would like just everything would just explode again, like crazy. Like the timing of the whole big
Hi, Nigel.
expedition and
Nigel.
all that is just so cool to me.
Yeah, so I was just really excited to get that because I love anything that has to do with George Tulloch. I love anything that has to do with the expedition that brought up the big piece. I think that's just a really neat part of history to follow. The last thing I'll show, hold on. My friend Ev Melodic gave me this as a wedding present. I have the digital copy on my phone. I just didn't have the hard copy.
Awesome.
Now I have the hard copy of Titanic City of Widows.
That book will actually be coming to me later this year because if I didn't make a list on Amazon of like stuff to buy with birthday gift cards, I would be going nuts. So that is on there as we speak.
All right, Greg Ellis has joined us. First of all, congratulations to you and your new husband, Joanna. Maybe a topic for a future episode, but 1997, Amy Grant released a song, Takes a Little Time, which starts the line, takes a little time sometimes to get your feet back on the ground. It takes a little time to get the Titanic turn. You know, that's true. I remember that. I do remember that.
She did a Titanic.
Do you remember that, Amber?
I remember that. I do.
How many other pop culture references of the Titanic ship, not movie, can be found? That is very true. Terry Bay wants to know, did I get Bill Wormstead's recreating the Titanic and her sisters? Yes, I did. I ordered one of the special edition ones with all of the author's signatures in it. And Bill had some of the regular editions at the conference, selling them and signing them. But I didn't take my copy because it already had everybody's signatures in it. So that's why I took on a sea of glass to get him to sign.
Jealous.
But yeah, that he did have some, but it's good that he did have some copies because the conference members could or conference goers could buy some there because it's harder to get just the regular copies here in the US. I don't think that they're available yet, but I did get one of the special edition copies.
Awesome.
All right, so we've come to the special interest part of the evening. Dan, this is where last time we just threw the link out there.
Oh yeah.
Do we want to do that again?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Why did my voice crack? Sure.
All right, so if I can do this correctly. All right, what we're going to do is paste the Zoom link into the comments section. If you're watching on the RMS Titanic Reflections page, it's right there. Or if you're watching in another group or another page, click on the main live feed and go to the main comments section. And you can find the link to the Zoom event there. And what we'll do is you'll go into the waiting room, and one at a time we'll let you in. Our only rules are no profanity, no nudity.
Keep it clean.
Please keep it clean, and we'll keep doing this. I'm just saying this because it's happened before. I'm not even kidding you. But don't laugh, Amber. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Just keep it clean, and we'll keep doing this because we enjoy talking to our Titanic friends. So anybody who would like to join us to just talk about Titanic, we'll let this carry on for about 15 or 20 minutes. So hopefully we'll see you then. Here it goes. My husband's staring at me. He's home.
Put him on camera.
Hey, he said in our vows he would support my Titanic habit. He did.
Put Jamie
That's
on
the part nobody could hear, except the people who were there. That's why everybody was laughing. If anybody watched the video, which is now up to like 4,400 views,
Ooh,
that's what everybody was laughing at.
You're an influencer now with a.
I just posted the link. I think it's just above your comment, Terry. If that doesn't work, let me know. I'm not perfect.
You're pretty darn close.
The fact that I lost the whole Zoom thing at the beginning just proves the point. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Terry's in. Look, if Terry made it, then it worked. Hey,
Terry.
Hi, Terry.
Welcome.
Hi, Terry.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Good, good. How you guys
Welcome.
doing?
We're good.
Having a blast as always.
Yep.
It's so good to see you.
Yeah, I'm so sorry I missed everything.
That's
All
okay.
right. I really
missed
want-
you.
Yeah, I really wanted to be there.
That's okay. There's always next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed it too, but hopefully next year. My husband says that we will go next year.
Awesome.
Try to save up for that.
Well,
Yeah.
Bill announced this year that he's considering holding it in
Vegas, I heard.
Vegas.
He told me.
Yep. So we'll see. We'll try to save up for some airfare if that's the case.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Either way, we're trying to make it because we've had so much fun last year and this year.
Yeah.
We have a good time.
Yeah,
The
Vegas
party
is a
starts
fun
when
time.
Michael gets there.
Yeah.
Tell Bill to do Chicago.
Huh?
Chicago Titanic Con.
There's no like Titanic museum in
There's nothing
Chicago.
yeah, there's nothing.
There's no Titanic stuff.
I'm here.
I know you're there. But no, this time, like Jamie and I got there and we were at the Titanic Museum and I started like just running around. Like we went to the gift shop and I like cleared that out and then I started taking pictures everywhere and then I started texting Michael and Ev and they got there because I'm like, we're hungry, let's go to dinner because we were the only ones in town so far. And they're like, where are you? And I'm like, well, we're at the museum. And they were already at the hotel. And I'm like, well, I'm hungry. So they came to the museum. It was just really fun. And we had like an immediate like photo shoot and stuff. We're nuts.
Well, when did you guys arrive? Was it Wednesday or Thursday?
We got there on Wednesday. We left early Wednesday morning. Because we needed to get our marriage license.
Oh.
But we would have left on Wednesday anyway because we have, a 5-hour drive from Virginia.
Right.
We wanted to get there in enough time to get our marriage license and just get all that taken care of on Wednesday. Instead of having to do it on Thursday.
Right.
So this is
Mike. Past my bedtime. So I should
pass your bedtime. Hello. Amber, are you bailing on us?
Yeah, I should get to bed.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Amber.
Bye.
We're gonna have to tell Amber good night. Good night, Amber. Oh, wait a minute. We have an announcement to make before Amber says good night, right? Remember that announcement we were gonna make? Okay. Do you want to go ahead with it?
We still have a Titanic trivia group that Joanna and I had set up a few years ago, and it's been inactive for a while pretty much, but we are thinking about getting it active again and doing some regular posts and having some more Titanic trivia.
I love Titanic trivia.
Yeah.
I know your idea in the very beginning.
Yes.
Well, yeah, me, James.
Dan's always full of good ideas. So, hopefully we'll get Titanic trivia up and running again on a regular basis. I'm not sure what that's going to look like yet, but that Titanic trivia group is out there. Might as well use it for something.
Yep,
Mhm.
just send Titanic trivia and then send a request to join.
Yep. So we'll get that going again, and we'll utilize that and have a good time with it again, like we used to. All right. We want to thank Amber for being our guest host tonight, and
My
we're gonna
pleasure.
tell her good night. All right. Thanks, Amber. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks. Bye-bye, guys.
Night, sweetie. All right. So we got Mike joining us. Nice to see you, Mike.
Nice
We
to see
got
y'all.
Nigel joining us. Hi, Nigel.
Hi.
I'm just gonna keep posting this link out here so everybody can see it.
Join in.
Just lost it. If you're just joining us live, we're having just a brief group discussion for the next maybe 10 or 15 minutes here. If anybody would like to join us, the link for the live feed is in the comment section of the main live broadcast, I suppose. So if you'd like to join us for a few minutes, you can click on the link there in the comment section. Just keep it clean. Hey, Nigel.
Clean.
Hi,
Hi,
Hey.
Hey,
Nigel.
Nigel.
how are you?
Hey. Yes, we can hear you.
Good.
Let's see where everybody's from. Terry, where are you from?
I'm getting really tired. I'll say it really quick, then I might have to go. I went to the Kentucky Horse Park, and then I went to see Jaws at the movie about the great white shark made in '75 by Steven Spielberg. Well, anyway, I saw that in IMAX.
Oh, wow.
I've never seen a movie in IMAX. They were able to transport it into IMAX or whatever. But anyway, I'm from New Jersey originally, but I've lived in Lexington, Kentucky for the past, oh man, it's at least about 25 or so years.
All right. Mike, where are you from?
I'm originally from Tonopah, Nevada, and grew up there. Joined the Coast Guard in about 1976. Retired from the Coast Guard in 2004. And one of my units in the Coast Guard was International Ice Patrol, so I did the iceberg hunting.
Wow, cool.
And this is before I found out that I was a relative of Molly Brown.
Oh, wow.
And I actually got to meet a Titanic survivor at Ice Patrol back in 1983. And we still trying to figure out who I met. But, I didn't know who I was related. So I got to meet. It was pretty cool.
Oh, wow. That's
And
pretty
then,
cool.
and then after that, I went and worked as a safety and compliance with Exxon, the dark side. And then finally retired this year. So we moved from Houston area to just north of San Antonio in the hill country.
Oh, wow. Well, it's nice to meet you. That's pretty cool. I know where Nigel's from. Nigel, tell everybody where you're from.
I'm from New Zealand.
Yay.
Yay.
So it's already tomorrow there.
Yep, we're
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, that's
We're ahead of
interesting. You
time.
said, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
We're ahead of time.
Yeah, that's interesting. My favorite rock band, Kiss, is playing in Australia, right? They're on tour in Australia.
Oh, wow, our next door neighbors.
The funny part is that they had originally scheduled New Zealand, but
Oh, really?
unfortunately they didn't get their show
Greg.
rescheduled.
Uh-oh.
We've got Greg
Hello.
Ellis joining us.
Oh, cool deal.
I like your background, Terry.
Oh,
Hey,
thank you.
Greg.
Yeah, the three sisters.
Hi, Greg. How are you?
Hey guys, long time no talk.
Yeah, nice of you to join us. We were just asking where everybody's from. Where are you from?
Oh, I'm actually not too far from Dan. I'm born and raised up by the border between the Illinois-Wisconsin line, so we call it the Cheddar Curtain. And currently live in the western suburbs, just past Schaumburg.
I know that area well.
Yeah, like I commented, I agree with you. They need to do the convention in the Chicago area. If they want to see Titanic stuff, they can come to your place and mine.
Yeah, there we go. And then we could show where the Eastland disaster took place.
Yes, I was gonna say river cruise and talk about the Eastland disaster.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Greg does have a really nice Titanic collection.
He's
Every time
actually-
I get something new, I think of Greg, and I'm like, okay, I need to display this nicely. I have like little stands for everything now, and I try to think of lighting. And
I've taught you well, Grasshopper.
and I'm like, I want this to look, like museum quality, and I don't have quite the extensive collection that he has, but I want it to, look nice.
Yeah.
So I try. I'll have like the little clear stands, and I have like the little metal stands, and I have things, arranged by class.
Very cool.
Can I show you something quickly?
Go ahead, Nigel.
I was going to show you this. This is my bow wreck of the Titanic.
Cool.
Oh wow,
Oh,
that's nice.
nice.
Nice, Nigel.
That is awesome.
Did you
Oh, I
build
love it.
that?
Just going to do
I
an
like
Angus
that.
overview.
Oh wow.
Wow. Holy. Oh.
That is
Made a
amazing.
model of the wreck of the Titanic.
That should be in like a museum or something. Wow. Where did you get that?
Oh, I made it.
Where did you
I was gonna
get
say, did you
that?
see it? Wow.
That is nice.
I am officially jealous.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
am too.
And I've got my
I'm
Titanic
jealous.
prints up there.
Yeah.
Got my Ken Marshall prints.
Uh-huh. Okay, now I'm jealous too. I've always wanted a Ken Marshall print.
Got a Titanic in the house.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow, it makes my fake Lego Titanic look subpar. And
How did you make that? Did you sculpt it or how'd you do it?
I actually
Right.
This originally was my first Titanic model I made. It used to be,
Gonna bring
A
my
full
tile
Titanic.
back out.
oh wow. And then I just broke it up in pieces because it wasn't a very good job. And then I built another, another replica of it over here, as you can see there.
Oh,
ooh, that's a
So
That's lovely.
I didn't need two of them, and it was such a bad job, the first one, so I decided just to make a wreck version. So yeah,
That's very creative.
yeah.
so yeah.
Actually, I like that idea. The 1350 model that I've got, I actually purchased it for like $10 and I kind of saved it from a scrap heap. But
Oh.
mast is broken, rigging's down and everything.
Oh,
So I got the 1350 mini craft with the
sorry.
laser etched pieces and stuff. So I'm gonna do that
Oh.
one and probably turn that first one into a wreck model.
Yes, so I did.
I just don't have the patience to do that. I have several models. They're still in the boxes. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do that eventually. Like when I can read all those books I have.
you and me both, Joe. Don't feel bad. You and me both.
Joanna, I think if all of us were to read all of the Titanic books we have, we'd still be reading on our deathbeds and we would only be halfway through our collections.
Well, I really like collecting them. I mean, I have some really odd books, and I'm like, I like collecting rare books and stuff like that. I mean, and some of them I really do use for reference. Like when I did my Titanic presentation for school, I knew what books to go pull and use for reference. But I mean, every time I sit to read, it smacks me in the face later.
And then there's also repeats if you get a bunch of copies of one book.
Oh, yes.
Dan.
Newer versions.
Not only that, but I have other copies of other books too.
Dan has like every copy of the Violet Jessup book ever made. Like, and they're different colors and they're different.
No, not different colors, different. And
They're all different. Oh, well, this one's, he messed me. Oh, look, I got a different color Violet book. And I'm like,
well, no, a couple of two of them are signed, and then the
Signed
Admit
by
it,
who?
Dan, you got the tan cover, you got the bluish purple cover.
yeah,
you
I
got-
have the
I told him
UK.
today, I was like, look, I got a Violet Jessup book. And he's like, what edition? I'm like, oh, no.
I have the
purple one.
UK, the mass
I
paper.
picked up this one.
Oh, I have
Oh,
that one.
That's a great book.
I got mine signed by,
What
Is
about-
it good? Is that book good?
I haven't
This is
started.
started reading it. It's really good.
It's May wrote.
And I picked up
Bruce.
that one as well. Have you seen this one?
Ooh.
Is that the,
I've seen it. I don't
um,
think I've read it. I haven't read that one yet.
yeah, that's the one by Gareth Russell. I've
That's
read
nice.
most of that one. Gareth Russell is really something. I've talked to him before. He's just a fascinating individual. Really and truly. Oh, Steve Hall is watching. Steve Hall
Oh,
says, Bruce and I have a new book for you all to collect.
Yeah, it's a
Went
50.
to the printer last Friday. I'm definitely getting that one because that one not only has words, it has pictures. I like books with pictures.
Don't we all?
What's the name of the book?
I think it's Titanic in Pictures, isn't it, Steve? Or
50.
no,
Another
Titanic
version?
Titanic in 50 objects.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
what's
yeah,
wrong with
yeah,
my
yeah. I
brain?
heard
That's
about
it.
that.
It's late and
Oh, that's the
Wait.
one that John and David helped contribute to.
Mm-hmm.
yes, I think so. They've been posting it on their page. But yes, I really want to get that one. You don't sound well, Terry. Yeah, are you not feeling well?
I've been like this for a very long time.
That's what Steve Hall said. He said you don't sound well. He said the name of the book is RMS Titanic and 50 Objects. I was really
Mhm.
close.
I might have to go. I think I might have to go back to the doctor because I've
No,
been
you
like
sound
this for
kinda-
a while. Anyway, I'm sorry.
It sounds like you have some congestion or something. I hope you feel better.
Thank you.
Never be sorry. Just be
Okay.
better.
Oh, Dan. Dan went and got all of his books, all of his
Oh.
Violet books. Great.
So Greg, you live up. So you're near Schaumburg, Illinois. How
Steve
Yeah.
far
says
from,
he's not well and he has a bad flu. So we all, let's all wish
Isn't
Steve Hall
too
well.
bad.
Steve, listen, Steve Hall is not well. He has a bad flu. So let's all
Mhm.
tell Steve that we hope he feels well.
Steve, get better soon, man.
Get well.
better, Steve.
Get better.
Feel better, Steve.
Get better soon.
That's
Otherwise,
That's a
you
pretty-
could join us and talk about Titanic with us.
Dan,
We have to
that's
do
an
sometime
impressive
soon.
collection.
That isn't. I mean, that's not too bad.
Yeah, and that's a lot of Violet books.
Well, no, like this one signed by John Maxtone Graham. Oh wait, no, it's not. Oh wait, yes, it is. This is the one signed by Maxtone Graham.
Yeah.
This is the Australian paperback.
Oh Lord, help us.
This is the mass market paperback.
I've had to listen to this stuff for years, y'all, behind the scenes.
This is the UK paperback.
Then he'll be like, Joe, I think I'm gonna get another Violet book. I'm like, or I found one at the
Goodwill,
Goodwill. I'm like,
Buy
or
it.
Salvation Army, or
Steve says, cheers, everyone. I do hope you feel better, Steve. That's awful. It's just
I'll
not
check
good
what one
when
it is.
you feel bad.
Oh,
And then there's these
We
three.
lost Nigel. And then you even have the bad, you have the bad Violet books
Yeah,
too.
this
That's
is
the one
very
that's
cool.
very
What's this one?
isn't it?
What's this one? What
That
version's it?
is- I think that's the Australian one because it might have a intro by her niece. Or like an intro letter.
God
This is
damn.
why Dan is the admin of the Violet Jessup group.
Album and then in the
Oh, yes,
Japanese
yes, it
version.
does.
And,
Right, yeah.
Amber's still watching. She said, LOL, Dan, I remember when you only had 3 copies.
So 2 weeks ago, knowing Dan.
Oh,
I remember, didn't we write a Violet Jessup story, or you wrote it and I helped you edit it?
We did. Yeah, you edited it, and I might revisit that. And
That was so cute. I love that.
Dan. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go
Dan?
ahead.
Dan, you there?
yeah, oh yeah.
You remind me of many of my fellow Kiss fans. You have to have the Japanese edition, then you've got to have the German edition, then the German edition with the yellow album, black album, white. I'm like, oh my God, how many? I mean, I can see you being in love with a passenger, but come on.
Two
I'm
of,
just confused.
two of them were signed.
You signed and
I like things signed too, so I get that, but
It's beautiful. I've got a few books, numerous copies of. It's not Titanic, but it's John F. Kennedy, a great book on a few editions of one volume I really like, and I've got like 6 of them. So yeah, it happens that you do get a build up of certain books that you like.
I think I have like 4 or 5 A Night to Remembers. I can't remember.
what's that one book we keep getting so many copies of?
Oh, No Greater Love.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, that they
Getting
made a
so many
movie out
copies
that,
of
didn't
No
they?
Greater Love. Like every time I go to the thrift shop, I'm like, and I can't like not get it. I'm like, there might be somebody out there in the Titanic community who doesn't have this.
I don't have it.
There's,
Oh, it's so good. I'll see if I can find an extra copy.
there's
and
one
send it-
version I'm still looking of for it.
Have you read it before? It's
I
by
never read it,
Danielle.
I know they made a movie out of it, and they used some of it in the SOS Titanic, actually.
I have that movie.
Oh, they help us.
I have it on VHS.
Oy.
But the book is so much better. It goes into so much detail. It's really, really good. Even though it's by Danielle Steele. I don't know what to say. It's Dan made me read it. It's his fault. But it's really good.
I always cause controversy, it seems, with my Titanic coloring book or my.
It's all. I have the Titanic coloring book too.
Oh, I got in big trouble when I first posted that.
Why?
I found it on Amazon and I was like, oh, look at this, everybody, check it out. And some people were like, that's disrespectful.
I like the Titanic coloring book. It's very unique. I have the one from the 90s, so I don't know if
Oh,
it's the new version.
I've got something rare. I'll just try and get it quickly.
What do you have?
Whoa.
Oh, we lost Nigel. Yeah, they're just stealing. I like unique things though, like the Titanic coloring book, and I like what I have. I have something where you punch out like the little pieces and put them together and make a model. It's a paper model.
Oh, that's
What is
pretty.
that? Is that new? What is
That's
that?
the
Oh,
1912
the calendar.
Ken Marshall Satanic art.
Oh,
Preaching
that
Aside.
is cool.
Do I have that? I have some kind of Ken Marshall calendar. It's still in the plastic though. It might be that one.
So pretty.
Because it's in the plastic, I've never actually seen it.
I don't know how rare
Joanna,
this is. now.
just remember, collections like ours are meant to be seen, not stored away.
That's correct.
Uh-huh.
So
Look at that. That's just beautiful.
I'm
That's why
terrible.
everything in
I
my-
have this calendar. It's so pretty, but I haven't opened it.
That's why everything in my
There you
curio
go.
cabinet
Joanna,
has
you
to
can have a
get
look at it.
rotated out.
Oh.
And it's got all the Titanic dates in it.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
nice.
Anything that's relevant to the Titanic, it's got it on. Yeah, it's the 2012 anniversary.
Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, Terry's got her wood. Is that your Olympic wood?
Yeah, from the Olympic, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That looks familiar.
Like,
I mean, I'm trying to imagine
You
all
need to
those
get some
people
Titanic
working on
stuff
those
and
jets.
have a Titanic collection. It will take over your life.
Oh,
It will.
Once you get started, you just can't stop.
yeah. And this is also from the Olympic also.
Mine started with books when I was 6, and now it's just taken over my house.
Yeah.
I like that, Terry. Very nice. The key is
Yeah.
it a keychain, Olympic keychain?
There's a keychain, yeah. And
Hey
then from,
Terry, I've got one thing from the Olympic that not too many people can boast on. I've actually
What?
got friends whose grandparents came over on the Olympic.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
awesome.
nice.
Nice.
Really cool.
Yeah, one of them actually still has their grandparents' tickets from the trip over.
Oh,
That-
that's
Oh,
I told her, if
envious.
you ever get rid of those, they're mine.
And then I got
okay.
a friend of mine got me this one.
Steve
this
Hall
thing
is putting us all to shame. He said, I don't buy another book until I've read the one I have. Okay, you're looking at someone who has like books piled up everywhere, Steve.
Yeah,
I start reading one and then I put that down, and then I start reading another one, and then I put that down, and then I start reading another one, and then I put that down. Then I have bookshelves.
uh-huh.
Shelves and bookshelves. Did I
I'm
see you with the legacy collection, Terry?
Hmm?
Did I see you have the legacy collection? Was that Cole?
Oh, I have Cole, and I have, it's that a friend of mine gave me. Did you meet Kathy? What's her name? Lumet, whatever.
Mhm.
And she gave me I was holding it up before, but anyway, it's that special collection of a sliver of of the hull of the Titanic, and then you have a sliver of the Ballard. So that I had.
Cool.
So I see the Titanic every day, if you want to make that kind of an argument. And then I do have a little sliver of coal.
Very
And I have
cool.
paperwork for that.
So Mike, you said you are related to Margaret Brown.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
I knew that. How long? And you said it took you a while before you knew that.
Yeah, I kind of heard rumbles of it as I was growing up. And one of the first times, the Debbie Reynolds movie was on TV, The Unsinkable Molly Brown.
Mhm.
And I liked that movie. But my mom always told me she really wasn't like that. And that kind of stuck behind me. Well, my sister in my hometown of Tonopah, a lot of her relatives moved down there. Cousins, nephews and nieces moved down there of Margaret. And my sister was working at the local historical society. And when they were doing research for the book on Margaret Brown, on Molly Brown from the University of Colorado, Kirsten Iverson, she called the museum and they were hunting for relatives. And says, well, do you know the Kavanaughs? John, Charlie, and Frances Kavanaugh. My sister said, oh, yeah, they're my first cousins. Says, oh, wait a minute here. You're related to them? Says, yeah. What's your father's name? Edward Lee. Says, wait a minute, let me look down here. They had the group sheets, the genealogy, and my dad was on that sheet. So my sister, after she got off work at the museum, she was one of the researchers there, went out and talked to my dad and says, really, she read him the Riot Act. And my dad says, oh, of course. We, back in the 1920s, both sides of the family, the Browns and my side was the Landrigan side, Tobin side, was decided because of all her notoriety that they would not mention her name in the family. So Helen Benzinger, who was his great granddaughter, did not find out to the 1980s.
Wow.
Our side didn't find out to 1990s when they were doing the book on Margaret. And
Wow.
so it's quite a story, families, And since then, I've been involved in the Molly Brown Museum. I've been involved with the Titanic Historical Society quite a bit. I volunteer at the museum in Denver every now and then when I can get up there, because of course COVID kind of put a kibosh on that. So, but I've always been interested in Titanic. Of course, I spent 2 years at International Ice Patrol doing the iceberg hunting with the Coast Guard. And that's when I met a survivor from the Titanic. So
Well, that's really neat.
it's pretty
Oh,
cool.
interesting. Well, it's really nice to meet you. I'm so glad you joined us tonight.
Oh, I've had
We've been friends on Facebook
blast.
for a little while, but I've always wanted to talk to you about it. That's very cool. We're probably
I have
gonna
a question for Mike.
Yes.
What were
I
you
have a
saying,
question
Jerry?
for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Joanna.
I just couldn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
I have a question for Mike.
Go ahead.
When you were doing the ice patrol, when you saw these huge icebergs, what was going through your head? Since you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Well, we hope the airplane is flying still well, and I don't want to hit one. But what we did with Ice Patrol, this is back in the 80s before, computers and digital. We go out there and we do these track lines in the Coast Guard C-130, about 1,500 miles a day off of Newfoundland. And we track the icebergs. We'd get the position of it, and then we'd land in Gander or St. John's, where we're out of that year, and fax it all the positions back to New York City, where Ice Patrol was stationed out of. And then after we sent all of our positions of the icebergs, they'd send a weather facsimile out to the North Atlantic, to all the ships traveling North Atlantic, all the positions of the icebergs we saw. And then what they do too, then they plug the positions in the computers, and they'd actually do drifts while they predict where the icebergs are going to go for the next week. And then 3 days later, we'd go back and see if we could find that iceberg at that location. It was pretty cool. We had it was pretty interesting. And there's this one play which is called Come From Away. That talks about Gander, Newfoundland during 9/11. And how all these airplanes were stranded in Gander.
Yeah.
And about how the people of Gander took all these passengers in for several days and made them wait until they could fly back into where their destination was. Well, I have personally knowledge of that. Back when we were there, we had a Cuban airliner that had mechanical problems that flew into Gander where they were there, and they were stranded for a week. The whole town of Gander took care of those folks. They bring food down, they bring movies, they set up a projector for movies, they brought up one of their dance groups, came down and danced for them. So that was just one of the things, I just have to mention that, because when I bring up Ice Patrol, that's some of the things I got to witness, some really cool stuff. So, but the icebergs are pretty cool. The first part of the year we would do a pre-survey. We fly all the way up around Greenland and all the way down, count icebergs that's stuck up in the ice in Baffin Bay, and then we have a prediction how many are going to come down that year.
Wow!
So it's pretty interesting.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you for sharing.
Is it true that you can smell icebergs, like they said in the movie? Oh,
absolutely. It's I was not on one of the ships there. We had that when we were there, the Northwind and the Evergreen are up there, and it has kind of like a musty, kind of like a moldy, musty smell to it when you're in the area, because the ice and everything's starting to deteriorate. So
I wonder why they couldn't smell the one that was beside Titanic. I mean, because they were literally like right on top of it. I wonder why they couldn't smell it. We lost him.
Yeah, we lost him. Yeah.
Oh no.
Nice, Kenya.
Well, that is weird though, because I mean, if they were right on top of it and supposedly, because I've heard that before, that iceberg smell. Why didn't they smell it? I don't know. That's weird.
I think they did smell ice around, in that when they got into that area. There were some I think one or two passengers. I can't remember which. I read all these books sometimes. I can't remember which book it is. A couple of passengers did smell ice.
Well, and didn't they say there was flow ice around, and that would give off the same type of smell?
Yeah. Well, they had to know they were going to run into ice. They knew when they were going to run into ice. I'm like, I just get so mixed.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting kind of tired.
Yeah, I'm getting tired also. I was just about to disappear.
This week has been really hectic. Like we went to the Titanic thing, we got married, we drove back, we bought a vehicle, went to work. It's been a crazy week. But I did want to get this in because I've missed doing this. I want to get back to doing the one-on-one interviews that we were doing, deep conversations occasionally, and then we're going to get the trivia thing going again, and
All right.
No dying allowed, Terry.
you're fine. We need to get back to just doing this again. Before we close out, I would like to share just a couple of photos from my wedding, if anybody hasn't seen them.
Yes, please.
And I want to say thank you to Bill Willard for working so hard and making all this happen. There's
Wow.
Bill. Bill actually gave me away in honor of my
Oh.
family. And he was very sweet. He said he didn't have any daughters. He said he had 2 sons, so he didn't think he'd ever be able to give anybody away. So I thought that was very sweet of him to do that. And now this is not working.
Congratulations, Joanna.
Thank you.
I saw it. I was like, yeah, go on, you girl.
Of course,
Thank
you
you.
notice Joanna puts the wedding second to the Titanic thing in the order of importance when she's rattling off the big weekend.
Well, the Titanic conference was awesome.
Yeah.
The wedding was awesome. It was just an amazing weekend.
You are definitely part of an exclusive club of people who have been married on the grand staircase. Yes,
it was really an experience like no other. Honestly, I keep pinching myself, like, was it a dream? The photographer took us up to the Strauss room, and so we didn't know she was going to do that. I thought this was so cool. This was such a neat photograph. Only Titanic nerds would really appreciate this one. And then she also took us to the cold room. It was freezing in here. You can probably tell by the look on my face, like, oh my gosh, this is where they let you stick your hand in the water to see how cold the water was. It was really cold in there. This is the music room. This is all at the Titanic Museum. So I just thought that was kind of neat. This is where they did display Wallace Hartley's violin when they had it there on display. I just thought this was so fun. The photographer had us like doing this. She had me pushing him out of the lifeboat. And then this was right in front of the model that was made by the boy that was autistic. This is all made out of Legos. I thought that was just beautiful. Then this is us on the grand staircase. And this is us with the captain that married us. This is outside in front of the bow of the ship.
Yep.
So it was just a fantastic weekend. And I got to marry my best friend and my partner for life. It was just amazing. Like I said, the crew of the Titanic Museum was just absolutely first class. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
It's about the wedding, actually. Actually, well, of course, there were a lot of honeymooners on. I think there were 13, I think. Well, anyway, what if, now, because I know that they had, the men on the one end of the ship and the women on the others, but let's say there was an engaged couple. Of course, they'd have to still be on the, well, whatever. Could Captain Smith had married them?
Somebody asked that on one of my posts and Bill Sauter answered it. I forgot exactly what he said. I think he said no, that they wouldn't have done that on a White Star Line ship.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
I forgot exactly the reasoning behind it, but he said, that they probably would not have done that on a White Star Line ship.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Because they said, were there any weddings, or would there have been any weddings on, the real grand staircase? He said, there most likely wouldn't have been.
Okay. Okay.
It was a different time back then, I think. It was a different time back then, the way things were arranged. Yeah.
But I'm so glad that the Titanic Museum and Pigeon Forge does that, because it was absolutely just the most incredible experience. So I
You
just
might need to
wanna thank
dive the
them
wreck for
publicly.
your anniversary, Joanna.
Huh?
You might need to dive the wreck for your anniversary.
Yeah. But we just had
Now
so
you
much
have
fun.
your ideas, Nigel.
Everybody wanted to know why we didn't do like the Jack and Rose bow photo. They I don't think they let people go up on the bow. It's a restricted area. It's probably a liability. They don't want anybody falling off, I suppose. But we just didn't. We weren't up for that. It was just such a nice thing. Just a nice thing to do, and it just seemed very appropriate for us because we're both nerds. So it was fun.
Get the picture on the bridge.
Yeah, I do have a picture on the bridge. Actually, the photographer took a picture of us both with the ship's wheel. I don't know why I didn't share that one. But yeah, I'm standing on one side of the ship's wheel, and he's on the other, and we both have our hands in the middle.
Yeah.
Really nerdy.
What?
I'm just happy for you, Joanna, because you are just glowing like I haven't seen you glow in a while.
Thank you.
So I'm happy for you.
Thank you. I'm very happy. It's
Yeah.
a good thing. I'm very happy. So we're gonna do this more often, aren't we, Dan?
Absolutely.
401.
I
And
love
I like
it.
your suggestion, Greg, about more references in pop culture. I forgot about those song lyrics.
I don't know why it literally just hit me out of the blue a couple of hours ago, and I'm like, I should ask them about this one.
And there are references constantly about Titanic. Like I'm at school, and you know, somebody moved like a bookcase or something, and behind it there was painted on the wall like a quote, don't be afraid to try something new. Remember the how was it said? The Ark was built by amateurs, and the Titanic was built
by
by
professionals.
Oh, I just hate that. It's just
I'm
stupid.
like,
It is stupid.
Before.
It's stupid from the aspect of those who aren't being what's the word I'm looking for?
The professionals built the Lusitania, the Andrea Doria, you know.
but I was just surprised. I'm like, you know, there it was on the wall of the high school that I work in. I'm like, Titanic, there you go. And
She didn't sink because she was built by professionals. She sank
I
because
know,
she
I was just saying there it was, you know, in the middle of the high school where I work. I wasn't expecting to see that, you know, a Titanic reference. Just
The truth of the matter is it was the perfect storm. It was the perfect situation that caused it.
Right.
I mean, if people use that line, the Ark was built by amateurs, the Titanic by professionals. You'll catch people in Belfast saying she was fine when she left here.
Oh, I heard that one too.
But the truth is, it was the perfect situation. You could not, nobody could have planned for it.
Oh, I know.
Right.
And if one sequence of an event was taken out,
Right.
it might not have happened. There's always, for a disaster, there's always a whole pile of sequences of events that line up perfectly.
Right.
That contribute to the disaster. If one event is taken out, then it most likely would not have happened.
Right. It's a link to a chain. It's like a link to a chain. You break a link, it probably doesn't happen. And
People
there's
are always
plenty of
asking me, they're like, what do you think sank the Titanic? I'm like, an iceberg? I'm like,
I mean, she's hit by an iceberg. I mean, she lost her
iceberg.
buoyancy. That's pretty much what happened. I mean, same way the Andrea Doria sank. She lost her buoyancy. I mean, you know.
I know, because I mean, people are expecting me to like go to like conspiracy theories and all this stuff. I'm like, they're like, so what do you think really sank the Titanic? I'm like, an iceberg.
Well,
It
it's
hit
like
an iceberg.
it's
It's like-
people bringing up, oh my God, there was a fire on it. Well, wouldn't that? No,
No.
back in those days, think about it. Coal fires in the bunkers were kind of a regular thing and were almost expected. They
Heck,
knew
if-
how to take care of it. That's not what did it, people.
Heck, if the Olympic wouldn't have collided with the Hawk, the Titanic probably wouldn't have sank because
Yeah,
of the
well-
timing,
Uh-uh.
big timing change there.
Yeah, I'm just like, just plain and simple. You know, the Titanic hit an iceberg. The watertight compartments flooded. She sank.
Too many for her to stay afloat.
I know. I'm like, people
Plain
look
and
at me
simple.
like, but what about this? And what about this? And what about this? I was like, what about it? She hit an iceberg and sank.
Yeah.
You
Simple
know,
as that.
all the studies, all the this and that and the other thing. If that hadn't happened, then you know she would have stayed afloat and served in the war and been retired and scrapped, just like the Olympic.
Or
She's-
might have sank too if it was in World War One. Who knows?
Oh yeah. You know, but all the study, all the books, you know, all the discussions that we've had, you know, that's just the end of the story right there. You know, the Titanic hit an iceberg and sank. It's a tragedy. You know, it's fascinating, but you know,
Then I deal with the religious folks saying God sank it. I'm like, no, that's not what happened.
I don't think that's, I don't, even if you believe in God, he is not a vengeful God. I don't think that he's just like, oh, they said it's not going to sink, so I'm going to sink it. You know,
Yeah,
that's not really how it works.
God was not going. God is not going to be the one to kill women, children, animals, all because some idiot said that God himself couldn't sink it.
And it wasn't even anybody. It was the press that said that too. Anyway, wasn't it? Yeah.
No, it was the guy that was handling baggage to the Caldwells. Mrs. Caldwell said, so is this ship really unsinkable? And the guy who was handling her baggage said, he made that dumb comment. He was the one that made that infamous comment.
You know, and all of the, you know, all the studying and the discussing and the, you know, everything that we can do, nothing can change that. And, you know, people with all their conspiracy theories and, you know, coal bunker fire theory and switch theory and, you know, JP Morgan theory and all that mess.
There's always a big event that always captures conspiracy theories because some people can't handle the simple truth that she had an iceberg and sank.
Yeah.
People will hear that I'm interested in the Titanic and all this stuff. They're like, oh, did you know that, you know, there was a fire on board and that's why it sank? And like, oh, did you know that the wreck's going to be gone in a few years? No.
I'm like, no, it's not.
No.
She'll be fine. She'll be okay.
No. I mean, it's just like.
Is she slowly collapsing? Yes. Operative word there is slowly.
Slowly.
I mean, I've talked to people who've been there. And, you know, they're like, you know, it'll be here, you know, until our grandchildren have grandchildren. Now, you know, at least most of the recognizable parts will be.
Right.
But you know, that's why
the bow railing and the bow, that beautiful bow, which is behind you, Joanna, that will be around for a very, very, very long time.
It will. It's made of steel. Now some of the weaker parts may be gone, but I think that's why some things need to be recovered while they still can be, and that might not be a very popular opinion, but but some of the things of historical value should be brought up.
Yes.
You know, but I think that the Titanic that, you know, that's there is probably going to be there for a good while. And just from, you know, what I've heard. I mean, unless they keep sending all these people down there just for the heck of it.
Yeah, just
I don't like that.
There's been more damage done to Titanic by the tourism trade than has been done by 100 years sitting at the bottom of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think that, I mean, I hate to say anything negative about any certain group that's been down there. But I think unless you have a specific reason to go down there, whether it be salvage or whether it be, you know, to
Documentation.
document something like for a specific reason, whether it be, you know, mapping or something like that. Yeah, I think that it should just be, you know, you left alone or monitored or, you know, something like that. I think there should be like a monitoring, you know, system set up to where they could keep an eye on who's going down there and what they're doing. Just to, you know, just to protect it. Because anybody with that technology all over the world could just go down there at any time and just be like, yeah, I'm going to the Titanic and bring some stuff up.
Right.
You know, that kind of freaks me out a little bit.
I'm gonna have to shoot off, Joanna.
I gotta get going also.
You have to shoot off.
Okay.
Thanks for this joint online conversation. I love it, and it's just great to meet other people that are passionate about the Titanic. And
It's always great to meet and to talk to old friends and new friends, and it's great to see how Titanic brings us all together from all over the world. And hopefully we'll get to do this again sometime soon. I think my husband wants me to wrap it up anyway.
Yeah.
Huh? All right. Well, we'll do this again sometime soon. And thank you all for joining us.
Thank you, everybody.
Carrie, Nigel, Greg. Again, thanks Amber for guest hosting. And we'll see you all again soon. We'll post this when we're going to do it again. It'll be a surprise, like it always is. Thanks again.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Okay.
Take
Bye-bye.
care, everyone.
Bye.